On a recent video, I wired my entire layout with a bus wire and feeder wires using North American household black and white wire and a selection of black and white and red and white wires. I used red and white to attach to the black and white. So a couple of people commented, why didn't I just attach the black feeder wire to the black bus wire and the white feeder wire to the white bus wire? And I've got a very good reason for doing it the way I did it. Hello YouTubes, let me explain. In North America, household wiring like this, that goes around your entire room, around your entire house, 14 gauge, feeds all your sockets, feeds your lights, everything. In North America, black is hot, white is negative. And then you've got a copper core wire, uninsulated, and that's your ground. I don't know why they don't just make the hot wire red, you know, that makes sense. But anyway, that's the way it is. And I didn't know this because I wired my entire basement when I finished this basement correctly. However, I've been building a hot rod for the last 3 years and everyone knows that red is hot in a 12-volt system and black is ground. So my brain just went to black is ground, white must be hot. Therefore, when I wired up my layout with the feeders, the droppers or the feeder wires, one was red and one was white. So the red one, I thought, goes to the white because the black must go to the ground. No biggie, at least I know the way the electrical system works in my layout, okay? And I'm not exactly going to be selling this to someone else so that they get confused. So anyway, on with today's video. I'm going to finish the wiring of my little isolated switching sections. I've done a few already. I'll let you see how they work and I'll show you how I'm going to wire the rest. It's pretty simple, to be honest. We're just interrupting with an on-off switch. So currently I have two locos on my track, one there in my little station siding, and my chassis over here in what will be the Railway Museum siding. This section of track is insulated there, but it's powered somewhere. And this section of track is insulated both there and there, but it's also got a power feeder wire, which is currently switched off. So, if I switch on my power system, put the volume up, about a quarter. The main line is powered, but because that engine is on a siding that's insulated and not powered, and that locomotive is on a siding that's not powered, they don't move. So if I flick this museum switch to the on position, which is up, chassis will move. Down for off, up for on. And off he goes round his merry way. Now, the same will apply for the loco up here, but let's put Chasey back to where he belongs in the museum. Oh, hurry up, Chasey, we don't have all day. Right, he's in his siding, flick the switch. Obviously, I wouldn't necessarily do it in that order, I would slow it down first, but I'm just showing you how this works. And let's try the same for this little Jeep up here. And I should point out, this whole fascia is kind of temporary, so these will probably move, or hopefully I'll never need them once I get DCC, but at the moment I do. So we flick this switch up the way to switch it on, and my little loco should start moving to the left. There he goes. Flick it back down, and he'll go off. Joy. So, next one I want to do is my loco line, which doesn't make sense to you guys, but it just means that it's the line the locos take to come round and go into their little sidings where they're going to park. So we'll need to add another 1, 2, 3, 4 switches to isolate these sections. But at the moment, I'll just show you how we do this line. These are my two feeder wires coming from my local track, and they go into the white and black bus wires. So we are going to intersect one of the wires. Doesn't really matter which one is, but I've been just using the plain white one. So I'm going to snip it around here. So instead of that continuing on to that wire, it's going to go this way towards the switch, which is away over here. And then there'll be another wire coming from the switch going back to this. So I need to strip that and add a little wire extension about this long. And I'm just going to solder these. So strip a bit insulation off there, strip a bit off the new wire, add a bit of flux to that. With my very shaky hands today. I'm at a funny angle, that's why I'm quite so shaky. Now we're going to solder these together. Easiest way I've found is basically add a blob of solder onto the iron, line up the wire to the wire, and let the flux do the rest, basically. And we're good. And of course, make sure you add a little bit of heat shrink to cover the exposed wire. And a little trick I've learned recently is just to use the heat from the soldering iron to shrink it down. You don't need to get a lighter, you don't need to get a heat gun. The soldering iron is already pretty hot, right? Lovely jubblies. Perfect. Now we just have to add a little spade connector to that side, spade connector to that side, plug it into your new switch over there. Using my new wire connector crimper tool again. Love this thing. Link in the description if you want one. Really great. There's no bracing. It makes a solid joint every time. And the other one. Now we can grab our switch, plug it in. It's going to be kind of 50-50 if we get this right, but it's easy enough just to disconnect these and swap them over. I mean, you could just rotate your switch around 180 degrees. Yeah, right, so that's going in here. And I seem to have broken my solder, so I need to re-solder that one. Oh, you know what that is? That's the feeder wire coming out. So I need to re-solder that to the track. I told you I was crap at soldering. At least I'm crap at soldering to track. Let me reattach that to the track and then we can test this switch. Okie dokie. I've re-soldered my little track feeder. Switch is in the hopefully on position, and we're hopefully going to send that little GP around there, and it should continue its merry way until we switch that to the down position, unless that is 180 degrees out. Let's find out. Ah, 180 degrees out. That's okay, I can just rotate this. And it's fixed. Perfect. Fairly basic stuff, but I think for a DC layout, it's kind of essential if you want to have trains on your track that you don't necessarily want to use. Now, I currently have 4 isolated areas that I can park locos on, which is great, and still have full access to the rest of the track. And I've got another 7 isolated sections to wire up, but I've only got 2 switches left, so I need to go and buy some more of these. These aren't expensive. These actually have little LEDs on them, but because they're LEDs and I'm running an analog system, I don't think the LEDs it's going to light up unless I had capacitors and all that nonsense. Plus, I had these in the car, they're really bright, so that might be a wee bit distracting. Okay, that's it for now. I said before, I really want to get started on the scenery, but I do want to just get the basics of this wiring done and dusted for now. Oh, another thing before I go. I was thinking that once I go DCC, I won't need all these isolators and power on off things, but apparently you do. Apparently DCC trains, even when they're on the track and not powered up, they still draw current through the locos. And if you have a lot of very expensive DCC locos on your track that you're not using, they could burn out, apparently. I didn't know that, so correct me if I'm wrong, but that could be a very expensive error. So doing it this way, I can park my DCC locos in a section, depower that section, no risk to damaging any of your locos, which is great. Thanks for watching. I'll see you very soon. As I say, scenery, it's a must. Bye for now.